Good afternoon, today is May 2nd, and today I'll continue to be talking about the coronavirus. So the first piece of news that I'd like to talk about is that almost 38 million people from the United States receive benefits from the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or the SNAP program, but how they can use them is often limited by technology or government policy. So while other people can shop online and have deliveries to their homes, people in the SNAP program must walk the aisles, which will definitely increase the possibility of coronavirus exposure for a group of Americans that includes the poor, older people, and with those with disabilities. So obviously, I think that this is a really large problem, and we really do need to get this solved as soon as possible. However, this is definitely hindered because people in the SNAP program must go through the must be accessible to the store system, because retailers must have a system that set up to allow customers to place an order and pay later online as well. However, the retailers must have to follow strict linings, including differentiate between SNAP eligible food items, which aren't taxed, and everything else. The website also has to split transactions so people can pay with SNAP and other payment form if necessary. I think there's also a problem now that what if people live in like Midwest or areas in the United States where delivery is almost impossible? That's another problem as well, because I doubt there's going to be anybody who drive, let's say, miles to deliver food to one house. And that's so these problems are often what hinders right now, but I hope the government can solve these problems as soon as possible. The second thing that I'd like to talk about is that testing for the virus in sewers may help the world come out of lockdown. Recently, people have started to use testing to monitor the virus so that states and countries can reopen faster, but it has proven to be extremely expensive and just not doable, almost impossible to test everybody frequently. The solution here proposed by scientists is to look for the virus in the sewers, because testing for the virus can test for, let's say, about an entire region, and this can track the pandemic faster. There's also benefits right now of often the virus will appear in sewers days before the outbreak begins, as shown in hepatitis A, where scientists has found the virus days before the outbreak, and as well as the coronavirus in Netherlands has also been shown. All scientists have to do is basically have a water sample, and they can fish out the genetic material from the water, read its sequence, and determine what kind of virus that they're dealing with. However, there's also many problems that come with this, because it's not necessarily because a virus means that there's more infections. Sometimes there's often multiple viruses, and let's say a huge gathering comes around, and there could be like a bunch of viruses, but that may not due to actual the coronavirus. And there's also the problem of they have no idea how many people actually have the disease if the virus shows up in waters. Like they cannot have apparent trends, because the increase in the virus could tell them that the people were infecting each other, or it can just be that a person is being infected more. The third thing that I would like to talk about today is that millions of foods were being wasted by farmers because restaurants, schools, and hotels have closed. So the farmers have been smashing eggs and throwing away milk products. Like I've mentioned this before in my previous videos, And the destruction of the fresh food on such a scale has prompted action by the Trump administration and states government to spend money to buy these surplus vegetables, fruit, and milk and meat from distributors and ship them to food banks, which are currently gaining so much, let's say, people who are going to it. The federal grants can also subsidize boxing up the purchase and transporting them to charitable groups so that we can try to save these food that are needed in some areas of the country. However, the farmers say that the losses far exceed what the grants can provide, and that these are not solutions that can solve the problem in the long time, only in the short time. So even with these large amounts of money spent, farmers are still scrambling to find new buyers for their excessive amount of food. And as peak harvest season of many fruits come around, time is not on our side, and we need to come up with a supply chain logistical solution as quickly as the produce is going. And that's another problem that I think is going to be faced, that we just simply don't have a long-term solution. So that's it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day.